Bugungi darsimizda Cambridge 14 test 1 passage 2 analizini ko'rib chiqamiz. Test 1 passage 2 birinchi navbatda titlga qarab olishimiz kerak. The growth of bike sharing schemes around the world. Dunyo bo'ylab bike sharing, ya'ni velosiped share qilish o'shalarni ko'tarilishi, rivojlanishi. Savol turlarini ko'ra olamiz. Which paragraph contains the following information? Demak, bu notabene you may use an learner more than once. Demak, buni bittasini kamida ikki marta ishlashimiz kerak. Matching information qaysi paragrafda quyidagi ma'lumotlar berilgan? Bizda nechta paragraf bor? ABCD, E, F, G. Demak, 8 ta paragraf bor, 5 ta savol bor. Demak, to'rttasini demak, qisqasi to'rttasini ishlashimiz kerak. Bittasini ikki marta ishlatamiz. Tushunarli. Undan keyin bizda choose the following two, multiple choice savollar desa ham bo'ladi. Yana two. Demak, qisqasi qulaylik. Chunki what are made in the text about Amsterdam today. Amsterdam today ni topib olishimiz kerak. Xo'p, savolga javob berishimiz uchun. Undan tashqari bike sharing scheme of 1999 demak savolni o'qishimiz kerak. Bu savollarga tushishimiz ham agar faqatgina keywordlarni topsak, qarasak, javoblarni topa olmaymiz. Nima qilishimiz kerak? Eng zo'r struktura bu tekstni o'qib olish, keyin javoblarga qarash. Tekstni o'qib olish, yana bir marta keyin javoblarga qarash. Xo'p, 99-yilni topib olamiz. Amsterdam Today ni topib olamiz. Mana Amsterdam Today 99-yil, mana 99-yil. Xo'p. 99-yil mana bu hammasini o'qishimiz kerak, chunki qarang. 99-yil mana bitta mashinada hammasini o'qishimiz kerak. Savollarga javob topish uchun mana bu Amsterdam Today ni ham o'qib olishimiz kerak. Xo'p, menimcha biz ABC ni o'qiymiz. Bu multiple choice matching information savollariga javob topishga harakat qilamiz. Undan keyin esa D, E, F, G ni o'qigan holda keyin mana bu 19, 20, 21, 22 savollarga javob topishga harakat qilamiz. Chunki bunda 23-26 gacha yana savollarimiz bor ekan. Chunki o'z ko'rganingizda 19-22 matching information, multiple choice savollari, masalan, matching information savollari tartibda kelmaydi. Xohlasangiz ham, xohlamasangiz ham keywordlarni o'qib javoblarni topish imkoniyati judayam past. Shuning uchun o'sha qilmaganimiz yaxshi. Undan keyin esa one word only summary completion the first urban bike sharing scheme haqida ma'lumotlarni topishimiz kerak. Dutch group Provo. Ikkita paragrafda bo'lish kerak ekan. Provo haqida ma'lumot bo'lish kerak ekan. Provo qayoqdasan? Baraka topkur Provo. Qayoqdasan Provo? Mana Provo. Demak, ABC ni o'qiymiz. Bunga savollarni javob topamiz. Matching informationga savollarni javob topamiz. Undan keyin DEF ni o'qigan holda qolganlariga ham savollarni javob topishga harakat qilamiz. Endi ko'p gapirmasa, ishga o'tamiz. Приступаем к делу deydimi? Ketdik. Приступим к делу. It doesn't matter. The original idea for an urban bike sharing scheme dates back to summer's days in Amsterdam 65. Provo, an organization that came up with the idea, was a group of Dutch activists who wanted to change society. Okay, they believes the scheme, which was known as the videoda, was an answer to perceived threats of air pollution and consumerism. In central Amsterdam, they painted a small number of used bikes white. They also distributed leaflets describing the dangers of cars, inviting people to use white bikes. The bikes were then left unlocked at various locations around the city to be used by anyone in need of transport. Surely, first bike to get was the idea of the Tesco Pro. People who belong to this group were qanaqa odamlar bo'lishgan, qanaqa bu gruppaga kirgan mana organizationga was a group of Dutch activists, mana activists. Bu gruppaga kirgan odamlar aktivistlar bo'lishgan. Yozib qo'yamiz activists. Keyingisiga o'tamiz. They were concerned about the damage to the environment and about damage to the environment, air pollution, turibdi, EU consumerism haqida concerned bo'lishgan ekan, xavotirda bo'lishgan. Consumerism. Come on, man. What the hell? Consumer. Oh, damn it. Consumerism haqida xavotirda bo'lishgan ekan. And believed that bike sharing scheme would draw attention to the issue, and as well as painting some bikes, they handed out degani, razdat degani, that condemned the use of cars, describing the danger of cars, o'zimda distribute degani handout ni sinonim, o'zimda leafletlarni listochkalarni razdat qilgan ekan. Leaflets bo'ldi. Keyingisiga o'tamiz. Demak, keyingi paragrafda o'qishimiz uchun, keyingi paragraf javoblarni topishimiz uchun keyingi paragraf o'qishimiz kerak. O'qiymiz. This guy, Planik, I don't know who is this guy, Dutch industrial engineer who still lives and cycles in Amsterdam, was heavily involved in the original scheme. He recalls how the scheme succeeded in attracting a great deal of attention, particularly when it came to publicizing Provo's aims. but struggled to get off the ground. The police were opposed to the proposed initiatives. Almost as soon as white bags were distributed around the city, they removed them. However, the Schmicken program for and bike sharing scheme in general, this was just the beginning. This was blah blah blah, it was symbolic thing. Oh, come on. We painted a few bikes white, and that was all. Things got more serious when I became a member of Amsterdam City Council 2 years later. Okay, it doesn't matter. However, the scheme was not a great success. Almost as quickly as Pro left the bike around the city, someone took them away. Someone took them away. The police, almost as soon as the bike were distributed around the city, they removed them. Police. Your mom police. Bo'ldi. Bu qismdagi javoblar tugadi. Seni ham o'qib olaman-da, keyin javoblarga topib. Savolga mana bu savolga javob topishga harakat qilaman, ko'ramiz. Hop, shim. See this opportunity to present a more elaborate to the city council. My idea was the municipality of Amsterdam would distribute 10,000 white bikes over the city for everyone to use. He explains. I made serious calculations. I turned out that a white bicycle per person per kilometer would cost the municipality only 10% of what it contributed to public transport per person per kilometer. Nevertheless, the council unanimously rejected this plan. They said that the bicycle belongs to the past. They saw a glorious future for these cars. He was not in the list discouraged. Demak, bu qismda councilni member bo'lganligini, real legalni yo'l bilan bu ishni qilishga harakat qilganligini, councildagi rasvo bo'lmagan odamlarni bu ishga qarshi chiqqanligini ko'rishimiz kerak. Topamiz. Description of how people misuse it by sharing. Ko'rmadik. Explanation why a proposed bike sharing scheme was turned down. Mana bu borligiga qaranglar. Mana turn down degani yo'q degani, bo'lmaydi, to'g'ri kelmaydi. Reject mana unanimously reject mana keyword turn down. Add explanation kerak bizga. Explanation mana. They said, они сказали, что bicycles belong to the past. They saw a glorious future for the cars. Shuning uchun bu javob C bo'ladi. Keyingisiga o'tamiz. Reference to a person being unable to profit. Demak, odamni profit qila olmaganligi, bitta odam bo'lishi kerak, profit qila olmagan bo'lishi kerak. Bunaqani o'qimadik. Explanation of the potential savings a bike sharing scheme would bring. Buni ham ko'rdik. Potential saving mana would cost municipality only 10% of what it contributed to public transport per person. Faqatgina 10% ni ishlatgan bo'lsa potential saving bo'ladi. Menimcha C bo'lsa kerak. Yana bilmadim, agar ko'ramiz, o'zgartirishimiz mumkin potential saving chiqib qoladigan bo'lsa. Refers to the problems a bike sharing scheme was intended to solve. Yo'naqa problemalar bor. Bor. Problems of air pollution and consumerism. Demak, javobimiz A bo'ladi. Bo'ldi. Xo'p, nima qilishimiz kerak endi? Javoblarni topdik. Endi D, E, F, G ni o'qiymiz. Yana javoblarni topishga harakat qilamiz. Skimmer shim. I don't know the guy. Never stopped believing in bike sharing, and in the mid-90s, two Danes asked for his help to set up the system in Copenhagen. Oh, great. The result was the world's first large-scale large-scale bike sharing program. It worked on a deposit. You dropped a coin in the bike. When you returned it, you got money back. After setting up the Danish system, decided to try his luck again in the Netherlands. This time he succeeded in arousing interest of Dutch Ministry of Transport. Times has changed recalls. People had become more environmentally conscious. Had proved that the bike sharing was a real possibility. Was launched in Amsterdam. Was organized. Riding a bike was not longer free. It cost $1 per trip, and payment was made with a chip card developed by Dutch bank Postbank. Designed conspicuous sturdy white bikes locked in special racks which could be opened with a chip card. The plan started with 6 bikes distributed over 5 stations. Shortly, the Theo who was a system designer for the project, worked alongside this. I remember when we were testing the bike racks, he announced that he had already designed better ones, but of course we had to go through with the ones we had. However, the system was prone to vandalism and theft. After every weekend, there would always be a couple of bikes missing. Shortly, I really have no idea what people did with them because they could instantly be recognized as white bikes. The biggest blow came when Postbank decided to buy both the chip card because it wasn't profitable. The chip card was pivotal to the system. To continue the project, we would need to set up another system, but the business partner had lost interest. Tushunarli. Hozircha ma'lumotni topib olaylik. Xo'p, nima qilamiz? Rangni o'zgartirib olamiz. Birinchi navbatda description of how people misused the bike sharing scheme bor mana. It was prone to vandalism and theft. o'g'irlab ketib qolgan. Missing. Mana shu i bo'ladi javob. O'g'irlab ketganda, banklarni o'g'irlab ketgan. Odamlar ham bir boshqacha odamlarda. Person being unable to profit ni ko'rganimiz yo'q. Xo'p, ko'ramiz. Mana bundacha 99-yil. Initially opposed by the government department. Opposed yo'q. Partner in scheme. It failed when partner in scheme withdrew support. Mana to continue the project we would have need to set up another system, but the business partner had lost interest in it. To'g'ri bo'lgan, chunki fail bo'lgan, chunki business partner chiqib ketib qolgan. Aim at the more successful haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Possible by change in people's yeah, it was made possible by change people's in attitudes. Mana possible, mana real possibility bo'lgan, chunki people had become more environmentally conscious. Demak, environment haqida o'ylaydigan bo'lganligi sababli bu possible bo'lib qolgan. Shuning uchun ham javoblarimiz bilan D-ni olamiz, D bilan B-ni olamiz. Range of byte designlarni ko'rganimiz yo'q. Xo'p, 21, 22-savolga javobni topishimiz kerak. Bitta savolimiz qoldi, 16-savol qoldi, 21, 22 qoldi. 3 ta savolga javobni F bilan G da topishimiz mumkin ekan. Xo'p, o'qiymiz. Shimp plink was disappointed, mayli, but characteristically not for long. In 2002, he got a call from French Advertising Corporation, who wanted to set up his bike sharing scheme in Vienna. It went really well. They set up a system in Lyon. A praise followed. There was a decisive moment at the history of bike sharing. Huge and unexpected success of Parisian bike sharing program would now boast more than 20,000 bikes, inspired cities all over the world to set up their own scheme model. It was wonderful this happened, but financially I didn't really benefit from it because I never filed for patent. Financially, demak, finansiy jihatdan I didn't really benefit. Demak, men umuman ma'lumot o'sha foyda ko'rmadim, vigida ko'rmadim because I didn't never filed for patent. Demak, patentlamagandim, o'shaning uchun ham foyda ko'rmadim dedi. Shuning uchun ham mana odam umuman profit qilolmadi o'zining ishidan. Shuning uchun ham F ni olar ekanmiz. Bechora bola. Shuncha chiqibdi, profit ko'rmabdi. Kanli ishlaydi mana 2007-yil haqida gapiryapmiz. U qachon ishini boshlagan? Premyerni 65-yilda boshlagan. Wow. Premyerni 30 yil ishlaganda o'sha ish ustida. 30 yil, 40 yil bo'lmasa 30 yil ishlagan. To'ppoymisan. Shu 40 yil butun umrini shunday berib yuboribdi-da, bir tiyinlik foyda olmabdi. Qanaqa to'ppoy odamlar bor, ha? Mayli, o'zi biladi. O'zining hayoti, bizga ishimiz yo'q. Ishim yo'q. Qisqasi, o'zi biladi. Mana bu qism ketdi, bu qism ketdi. Pyum bu qism ketdi. Pyum bu qism ketdi. Keyin men bu qismga o'tamiz. Pyum. Xo'p, 22-savolga javobni G da olamiz. In Amsterdam today, 38% of all trips are made by bike, along with Copenhagen. It's regarded as one of the most cycle-friendly cities in the world. But the city never got another vital Flumstein. Monorail believes it may because everybody in Amsterdam has already bikes. Cannot see this change Amsterdam need for bike sharing scheme. Travel on the underground don't carry their bikes around. Obviously need additional transport to reach their final destination. He thinks that it's strange that city doesn't have a successful bike sharing scheme. Optimism about the future. Cities wouldn't stand a chance because people were prepared to give their lives to keep the cars in the city. But the mentality has totally changed. Today everybody longs for cities that are not dominated by the cars. Generally, majority of residents would like to prevent cars from entering the city. Yes. Polish kerak. Chunki mana today everybody longs for cities that are not dominated by cars. Demak, ayni olamiz. There's little likelihood emas, chunki bu yerda yozilgan. He's optimistic about the future, doesn't have a successful bike sharing scheme. Qisqasi bor. O'ta katta ehtimol bilan bo'ladi. More trips in cities are made by more trips haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Bike sharing scheme would benefit residents who use public transport. Yes, mana yozilgan. Underground qiladigan odam o'zini final destinationga borib olish uchun kerak bicycle o'sha uchun ham kerak bo'ladi. Reputation as a place for welcoming cycle. No information bor. Menimcha shu xato qilgan bo'lishim mumkin. A bilan D ni oldim. Shu bilan bugungi darsimiz o'z oxiriga yetadi. Hamma savollarga javoblarni nimaligini ko'rsatdim. Mana bitta bor. Ikkita savolga javoblar bilan A bilan D. Shu bilan bugungi darsimiz o'z oxiriga yetadi. Agar muammolar bo'ladigan bo'lsa, iltimos shu underline qilingan, so'rqa qilingan so'zlarni yodlab olishga harakat qilinglar, tarjima qilishga harakat qilinglar. Muammo bo'ladigan bo'lsa kommentarda qoldiringlar. Sizlardan keyingi darslarda ko'rishguncha xayr everyone.